insurance plan all year long that eliminates the mandatory maternity coverage. This is Tom Marabali, and if you're 50 years old and are covered by the Affordable Care Act, you're paying for maternity coverage whether you want the coverage or not. The least expensive ACA PPO health insurance plan is $540 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $8,550 before your bills are paid at 100%. I can eliminate the mandatory maternity coverage and lower your monthly premium down to $273 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $2,500 before your bills are paid at 100%. That's a savings of $6,050 in total out-of-pocket cost per person with my lower deductible, and you save $267 per month with my lower premiums. For a free quote and to see if you qualify, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
AM560 The Answer.
This live program is sponsored by Safer USA OT Media Group.
It's time for On Target Radio, Chicagoland's only radio show dedicated to the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech. Now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Welcome to On Target Radio. On tonight's show, we're going to be all over the map. We'll be talking about CNN ratings, paycheck protection loans, gun rights in California, and the FBI's potential violation of the First Amendment. And our surprise guest in the studio is Darren Bailey, candidate for Illinois governor. To participate in tonight's show, call our studio at 312-642-5600. Watch and subscribe on YouTube on Target Radio, or watch and like us on Facebook on Target Radio.
And it's just like the Army always said, adopt, adapt, and improve. We walk into the studio and our show changes completely. Senator Bailey, thank you very much for coming in this evening. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you for the honor. I appreciate it. Love talking guns anytime.
So just right out of the box, because this is On Target Radio, pro-Second Amendment?
I am very pro-Second Amendment. I've got shirts and pins that I give out all over the place. Void the Foid. I spoke on that on the Senate floor last week. There's no reason, the simple fact that if my FOID card is expired, probably can't buy ammo here in Illinois, yet someone can come across from Indiana or Missouri with their driver's license and purchase such. Something's wrong. So we addressed that. Our God-given constitutional rights are at risk, and we want them back, period.
So it's the primary seems to be lining up with a number of R's. How does that look to you? How's it shaping up so far?
Well, I think it looks great. I always believe the more the merrier is great. I think that in the days ahead, the people are going to see through the fog. They're going to see who's really out there working for them. I encourage people to get on our webpage, BaileyForIllinois.com. Get on my Facebook page, Bailey for Illinois. You will see since September 2017, when I first announced my run for state representative of the 109th District, my message has never changed. It's been consistent, it's been precise, it's been conservative, and nothing's changed. I've only built momentum, and God's allowed that with my wife Cindy and a wonderful team, because it's always about the people. We're putting in the hours. Farmed all of my life. I'm used to the hard work, and I actually sometimes I think adversity fuels me. So I'm looking to get this state back on track.
So you have a pro-Second Amendment history. That's pretty well known. If you had been governor, what would you have done differently over this whole COVID thing?
Well, what government is supposed to do: inform and educate. One of the most destructive things that government could ever do, and history proves it, is lock down, silence, lock up the people. Closing homes, closing schools, closing churches, that is an absolute direct threat to freedom, and a constitutional republic never allows for that. As a matter of fact, I want to encourage the listeners out there, Google later the Illinois Emergency Management Agency Act, 230 pages. Read that silly thing. It's going to look like it was written a few months ago. That thing was written in the 70s, and it's government educates and informs. We, the people, make the final decision what we're going to do.
I think the current governor will have more to do in getting a Republican elected as governor than even the Republicans will have to do with. But the question that obviously comes up is, you're not going to turn over the entire legislature. So how does a Republican governor deal? We've had one or two Republican governors in the past that did not deal well. What would you differently? How would you do differently to deal with that?
Yep. Well, I'm not so sure about that, first of all. even here in the inner city of Chicago and the South Side, people are fed up. People are getting fed up. If Republicans do their job for the future, and in the coming days, when we get out and we educate people and inform them what's taking place and the why, it could be a much different. It could be a much different picture that's painted. To your point, we're simply, we're going to a governor has the ability to convey the message. I won a lawsuit July 2nd, and unfortunately, people pretty well from Champaign South, heard that message and decided to live free. The governor's platform seemed to be bigger and louder than mine, so he convinced many people up in this area that, no, I make the rules, and these are the rules, and they basically fell for it for all practical purposes. So getting out, informing, talking to the people, not forgetting about the little people. It's about the people. This is always about the people. So for the next year and a half, we're going to be doing our work. You can get on, again, Bailey for Illinois. Invite us. We will come and talk to your gun group, talk to your church, talk to your school, talk to your workplace, whatever. We're here to listen. Abraham Lincoln said to keep your friends closer and your enemies closer. One of the most important things, whether we're in the majority, minority, superminority, whatever we are as a Republican governor, it will be to bring everyone to the table and talk and listen and come up with a plan. And at the end of the day, we act, and then we let the people know what happened, what the choices were, and why things went down as they did.
So we got the two big ones out of the way. We got the Second Amendment and we got COVID, which those are the two issues our audience are really concerned with. From your perspective as governor, what would your priorities be?
Well, first and foremost, I get that question a lot. What would you do on day one? We got to clean corruption up. We've got to wipe the slate clean, get these bad actors who have been there for years out of the way. Even right now, today, 2 years into Governor Pritzker's reign, there are still many department heads that have not been established. As a matter of fact, the Prison Review Board, as of this date, has not been officially approved by the Senate, and yet they've let prisoners go. Prisoners have recommitted violations, and we don't even know where they're at. So getting men and women of integrity in these places over these department heads and establishing them immediately, that has to be first and foremost. You follow that up by just starting to wipe the slate clean of these unfunded mandates and these orders and turning things around for our men and women of law enforcement, returning integrity to that position and letting them, helping them to have the resources and the tools that they need to serve and protect is what they do. So returning integrity to our schools. There's a lot of things that can be dealt with swiftly, but it takes people. So first and foremost, getting men and women as department heads to these agencies, and then beginning the work on the budget now instead of May.
Oh, yeah.
I got an idea that I will be presenting. It's called a zero-based budget. Every department and agency will start at zero, and they will account for every penny they plan on spending. So we, the people, will finally know what these people are spending their money on and what they anticipate on it. And I believe a lot of fat will be cut out of taxpayer funds because of that.
It was actually shocking to me that Pritzker took office and immediately approved a $40 billion budget without cutting one penny, nothing at all, ever cut out to try and reduce it. That was like staggering.
Yeah, it was staggering. So, $1.5 billion was borrowed against, was levied. That's wrong. Nobody has any idea of some of this waste that's taking place in government. DCFS, I said in an appropriations hearing 2 weeks ago, they want $142 million more than they had last year, okay? And they've got, children are suffering, so we need that. Yet, I was the only one to be able to discover some of this. This year, when the fiscal year closes, they intend on leaving $12 million on the table. 2020, they left $28 million on the table. That is an inefficient run government. If you're going to tell me the problems that you have, yet you failed to address, those needs, how can we trust you with more money? More money is not the answer. Accountability and transparency is.
So you're talking about spending. So tell me about taxes. What is your plan for Illinois taxes?
Well, first and foremost, when we do this zero-based funding or zero-based budget, we're going to be able to weed out and make a lot of cuts. There's no doubt. I've seen it. I've seen it in every budget and appropriations that we've looked at. You just have to scratch your head and ask, what does this do? And many times they cannot tell you. Let's talk about property taxes. If we go to our public schools and we cut out unfunded mandates and let the local school boards govern their schools and decide how their children are going to be educated, that's the biggest problem. State comes down, they says you've got to do this, but we're not giving you the money for it. Well, they got to have the money,
Right.
so up go our taxes. You take the bail bonds out of our courthouses, but we still got to prosecute the criminals. Got to raise the local taxes. Tell police officers they must be wearing body cameras. No, yes, we're not going to reimburse you for your training anymore. It's got to be paid for. So up go your property taxes. We're going to have to work to bring some common sense to the people and to the legislators, get that stuff out of the way. And I truly believe that our taxes will be able to begin to slide down.
So can you tell us, I mean, you've only been in the General Assembly for a short time, but I know that you've been very busy while you've been there, and you've been working hard. So who are your allies in the General Assembly?
Well,
do you have any?
You only have 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So
okay, I do. There's a lot of new legislators voted in the same General Assembly in 2018 that I was. They're all business people. They're farmers. They're men and women of common sense. And they're working hard right along with us. So, and to that point, many of the people that have been there longer are coming around and making changes and what they've been doing as well.
Good.
So if people want to get a hold of you to help out, how do they do it?
Bailey for Illinois, BaileyforIllinois.com. Please get on my Facebook. That's the most powerful thing we have going on right now. That journals our day, and you'll be amazed at what we're doing. Bailey for Illinois.
Bailey for Illinois. Got to do that.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Keep up the fight.
When we come back with more on Target Radio, great news. CNN's ratings have crashed. So all that and more with On Target Radio when we return. And you're listening to AM560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
Is there a point to the Illinois Republican Party that you can discern?
I mean, just when you think it couldn't get any worse, it does.
Bob in Edison Park.
The Republicans have no passion. Outside of Trump and maybe DeSantis, they cannot rally the troops. They cannot inspire voters. They cannot even inspire their own party.
Start your day with Chicago's Morning Answer. Weekday mornings starting at 5 on AM560. The Answer.
Do you like your gun range bag? There's a really cool local company here in Chicagoland that makes the finest range bags anywhere. And these quality range bags are so inexpensive that I bet you won't hesitate to buy one. The Hacket range bags from Hacket Equipment have it all. There are compartmentalized pouches that hold 2 or 4 pistols, ammo, mags, and even targets. Basically everything you need for a day at the range in a stealth design that doesn't resemble a range bag. Nobody will know you're carrying firearms. Additionally, they're super heavy duty and will last a lifetime because Hacket bags are 30% heavier than typical range bags. And the price is unreal. The large pack is under $100 and the small one under $80. But if you visit gunrangebags.com and use the promo code AM560, you'll save an additional 10%. Hacket equipment bags really are range bags that can hack it. That's gunrangebags.com, promo code AM560. Gunrangebags.com. Do it now.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule. Changing the world, one life at a time.
The product's super. I've heard about Balance of Nature for some time, and I just thought I'd get involved. And so when I did, I started taking it, and I saw a difference. It kind of balanced out my health, if you will. So my doctor was pleased with that. He said, "What are you doing? What's going on?" And I just shared. I said, "Well, I'm taking this extra thing called Balance of Nature." And he said, "That's good. That's good." So I admonish all people that have some type of health issue, try it. It really helped my health, and I know the product works.
Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
It's almost time for the annual AM560 golf outing. And this year, AM560 is proud to partner with our friends at the 100 Club of Illinois to help them provide resources, financial support, access to training, and moral support to both the families of first responders killed on the line of duty and active duty first responders throughout the state of Illinois. When you purchase a foursome to join AM560 on Monday, June 28th at the Mistwood Golf Club in Romeoville, you'll enjoy a full day of golf, which includes lunch and either breakfast or dinner. But you'll also receive an AM560 marketing package, which includes 25 one-minute commercials to air on AM560 Monday through Friday between 5 a.m. and 10 p.m., along with a free digital marketing analysis. Book your tee time at 560theanswer.com/golf. That's 560theanswer.com/golf. Sponsored in part by Joe Cotton Ford, Rimke's Garage, Mars Medical, Pop's Italian Beef and Sausage, and State Farm Insurance Agent Finney Rachel.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. To participate, call the studio at 312-642-5600.
So I had in class today one of our devout listeners, a guy by the name of Tim Narawa, and he took class with me this weekend, and he gave me a book. He brought a book in. It's called The New Great Depression, and it talks a lot about what we've been talking about in terms of COVID and the effect that it's had on the economy and people and all of that. So
wait, this doesn't make sense. So he listens to the show and he took your class?
So now our next topic. Did we actually say he could come back in the studio?
I had to get something in there.
Does that mean my action items are actually effective? Because I just assume that no one's listening by then. Like everybody's 3 sheets to the wind by like 9:50, and
he's listening. He's listening. Yeah, and he likes the show.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I asked him. I said, "Are you into drugs?" But no, he's not. He just
and he took your class, and he still likes the show.
And it's to
be fair, some of us work pen and paper better when we're drunk.
Well.
So anyway, it was nice. It was nice to have one of our listeners in a class.
Definitely.
I thought it was anyway. Yeah. More good news. The Darren Bailey thing was great. You just walk in and
that was jackpot.
Yeah, we just said, "Want to be on the show?" Okay, and pushed him in the studio.
That's how we roll here at On Target Radio.
That's how we roll. Absolutely.
We just grab celebrities wherever we can find them. You're going on the air with us.
Oh, there's some bad news this week though. I refinanced my house, right?
Okay.
So Freedom Mortgage. Everybody take note. Freedom Mortgage. Never, ever use Freedom Mortgage. So the deal was I was going to take the escrow money to use to pay a bill off, which we had agreed on in advance.
Mm-hmm.
They rolled it in to pay off the mortgage, didn't tell me.
Uh-huh.
And, when they come and do the closing, you've been through that. It's like sign here, sign here, sign here, sign here.
Mm-hmm.
You don't read every page. It's like 300 pages.
Right.
I found out too late that they took my money from me.
Well, it's interesting because my son got screwed over by an insurance company, which happened to be American Freedom Insurance.
Well,
and I'm going to name them on the radio because I've given them plenty of chances to right
they
their wrong, and
care.
they don't care.
No,
they just don't care.
Freedom Mortgage is really don't ever
I
work
want
with
to say
them.
Freedom Mortgage was the one that my mortgage fell through the first time when I tried to buy my house the first time.
You won.
Well, yeah, apparently I lucked out that it didn't work out.
I would just stay. I mean, it's really sad to think that these companies with the name Freedom in the name are really jerking people around because
well, at least those two are not good.
It irritates me.
Yeah.
Well, and so we had dinner at Gaylord, the Indian restaurant up here in Schaumburg, and while we were having dinner, so I was facing the two guys at the dinner table, and there were some people sitting behind the guys, so the guys couldn't see them. And while I was talking, these people were, especially the wife, was like locked on to me, and what I was like, I could tell they were eavesdropping on our conversation, which I assumed they were Democrats and they didn't like the conservative.
I was assuming you had my back on that
we were having. And so like I surreptitiously texted the guys. I'm like, the people behind you are listening to our conversation. And then when we were done with dinner, they approached us and they said, we thought we were the only Republicans in Illinois. So
they were Israeli.
Come on, man. So it was very nice that they were listening because they were they were happy to
Yeah.
find out they were not the only Republicans.
They were
around.
Israelis, and both have been in the military. He'd been in the
Yes.
Army, and she'd been in the Air Force.
Yeah, it was
Israeli,
wonderful.
Very nice people.
Nice people.
Yeah.
it is.
Wish we
lovely.
could have spent more time with them, but we had to be here.
Yeah,
so.
we were like, okay, gotta go.
We should have brought them in as guests.
I was thinking about
We
it.
could have.
Maybe they can call in and give
Well, they
us
live
their
in Lake
contact.
County, so they were like, I got a long drive home, gotta go.
Well, they like Gaylord, so they.
But if they didn't
they're
know
out
they were
here
going to
anyway.
meet Darren
Well, that's
Bailey,
true.
if they didn't know they were going to meet, if
Well,
we didn't know we were going to meet,
Yeah,
Darren
really.
Bailey,
They probably would have come if they
Yeah,
knew they could
really.
meet Darren Bailey.
So speaking of CNN, that was a
That was not a good segue.
quite
but,
a segue.
But sure,
wasn't,
whatever.
it wasn't exactly a glistening example of segueism, but
The headline is CNN's ratings are in the crapper.
I really feel bad about that.
That's where they belong.
Because I was hoping to go deeper than that. Their daytime viewership fell by 22% in May.
And their
22%.
their primetime viewers, or the 25 to 54 demographic, even fell more, 28%.
Yeah.
And who dominated cable news?
Fox.
Fox News.
Fox News did.
Thank God.
It's interesting because they say the precipitous ratings decline may explain the network's increasingly bitter criticism of competing news networks, particularly those whose politics skew more conservative. One of its few remaining Republican commentators called for Fox News to start deplatforming some of the nuts in prime time, who, coincidentally, have been beating CNN in the ratings ever since January and, the 19 years before.
So in other words, they're talking about Tucker Carlson.
Exactly. and it's a typical liberalism. We can't beat you, so you ought to get rid of them. They're not any good.
So we're just going to trash them and try to get people to question. They branded Newsmax and One America News Network as noxious garbage.
It's
So the one thing that really scares me here is it says CNN continues to have the youngest audience in the cable news, and they're talking about adults 25 to 54. So if young people are brainwashing themselves with CNN, that is not going to lead to a good future for us.
No, you're absolutely right. You know, they fired Santorum, who was a Republican from Pennsylvania. They fired Santorum because of this comment. And he said this, by the way. He didn't say this on the air. He said this to a group that he was speaking to, a private meeting of people, of conservatives. Sure. And he talked about American, are you ready for this word now? Because this is terrible. If you're woke, this is bad.
Are you sure you can say it on Salem is the question.
That's right. And we all know I'm not woke most of the time anyway. So, but
we talked about that.
But he made this to a private conservative group, Santorum, and they fired him for talking about American exceptionalism.
Yeah.
Now, I've been to about a quarter of the countries in the world. I'm going to tell you something. There's some good countries. Don't get me wrong. There's only one America.
We are exceptional.
We are exceptional. And that fact that this government, this liberalism, downplays it. They try and make us look like we're at fault. That's
Well, and what's wrong with thinking you're exceptional? I mean, I understand the whole race and everything, but to love your country and to think it's a great country, why is that bad?
I'll tell you exactly
It's
why.
not.
I will tell you exactly what the problem is. Because if we're exceptional, what makes us exceptional? What makes us exceptional is the fact of Republican or conservative opinions about if you work hard and you have a business, you do all the things that liberals say you shouldn't do. So we're successful doing those things. Well, it's got to be bad.
Well, I'm sure there's exceptional things about other countries too.
There are.
It's not just us.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Japanese have wonderful baths. I mean, there's exceptions.
They make good cars.
The Swiss have their banks.
Parasewer system.
The what?
Parasewer system. Jean Valjean. This also says the CNN brass appears to believe that it's the network's chic, critical, race theory-driven bias that attracts viewers, not one-off news events like the Capitol riots and the Derek Chauvin trial, which is actually what boosted their ratings. Those are the things that boosted their ratings. So they're doubling down by further institutionalizing their leftward drift.
Now, while liberals talk about how bad conservatism is and how wonderful they are, the PPP program, the Paycheck Protection Program,
this is a mess.
Which is run by liberals, right? Am I right?
Go figure.
Millions of dollars to farms that are on sandbars. I mean,
this story. So this headline came across my county email, and I just thought, oh, this headline is too good to pass up. I have to click on this. And it actually sat on my desktop for a couple of weeks, but this is priceless.
Reading through this was like peeling an onion.
Oh, it was.
It was terrible.
Oh,
yeah.
It's beautiful. And so what this comes down to is that the most of the PPP loans were put out by banks, but the banks were
tough.
Right. They were mostly, or at least initially, they were only dealing with their previous customers because they already knew them and they had relationships with them, and so it was easier for them to vet their current customers. So the people who couldn't get these business loans from banks because they didn't have like a really established relationship with a big bank, they were going to like these online fintech things like Cabbage with a K. And Cabbage in particular was using automated approval systems. So they were using like modeling and information that they could find to determine if these loans were going to be paid back, but there's no human eyes looking at these. So in Ocean County, New Jersey, there were dozens of PPP loans to farms that had names like Ritter Wheat Club and Dealey Nuts and Seaweed Blyman and Tomato Cranberry that got like the maximum amount of these PPP loans, these fake farms.
We're going to have to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about gun rights win in California. All that and more when we return with On Target Radio. And you're listening to AM560, The Answer.
Gas prices around Chicagoland keep going up with no end in sight. How high will gas prices go? No one really knows. But AM560 wants to ease your pain at the pump. Now, you can listen each weekday afternoon at 12:30 and 5:30 to hear the lowest gas prices around Chicagoland. And if you see a low gas price, let us know about it. Just text the word price to 64636, followed by the price and location. And we'll share it right here on AM560, The Answer.
Fox News, I'm Paul Stevens. Many Democrats in Congress defending White House Chief Medical Advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci in the wake of emails discussing the possibility that COVID-19 accidentally escaped from a Chinese lab.
Nobody got everything right. There was a little bit of confusion about the value of masks. We thought originally that maybe this thing spread by touching. Now we know we don't. So, of course, there's confusion. But to use Tony Fauci, who has decades of service to this country and has saved uncounted lives, as a political tool to beat up on Democrats, frankly, is shameful.
Connecticut Democratic Congressman Jim Himes speaking with Fox News. West Virginia Democratic Senator Joe Manchin saying he's a no vote on a broad-based voting rights bill that's already cleared the House.
I think it's a wrong piece of legislation to bring our country together and unite our country, and I'm not supporting that because I think it would divide us further.
Senator Manchin on Fox News Sunday. America's listening to Fox News.
Meet Tim.
Hey, what's up?
He's the person you hired for your digital marketing, and when he's done battling aliens on his PS5 in his parents' basement, he'll get right to work. Now, meet the team at Salem Surround.
What's up?
Hi. These are the people who are passionate about your success and will work 24/7 to deliver real customers to you and your business. Why would you trust your digital marketing to one person when you can hire a whole team? Get nationwide experience, resources, and results.
Learn more about Salem Surround at surroundchicago.com.
Hard drives fail. Viruses destroy data. Having a copy of your work, photographs, financial records, and other important files is one step in a thorough backup plan. Geekometrics offers a secure online solution by placing a copy of your data off-site where it's safe from theft, fire, and unauthorized access. Losing photos and financial information is devastating. Geekometrics' secure online backup solution is a reliable way to back up important files. The most common reasons for not backing up are uncertainty about what needs to be backed up and how to do it reliably. Geekometrics provides a full-service managed solution with no storage limit. Geekometrics does all of the setup, configuring, testing, and monitoring. Your data is even safe when you travel with your Mac or PC laptop. Call 630-759-9283 to talk to a specialist who can help you keep your data safe. 630-759-9283. Geekometrics, helping you keep your data safe.
Tell me why Relief Factor is so successful in lowering or eliminating pain. I'm often asked that question. Pete and Seth Talbot, the father and son founders of Relief Factor, tell me they believe our bodies were designed to heal. That's right, designed to heal, and now I agree. The doctors who formulated Relief Factor for Pete and Seth selected the 4 best ingredients, 100% drug-free ingredients that each help your body deal with inflammation. That's correct. Each of the 4 ingredients deal with inflammation on a different metabolic pathway. That right there, approaching your pain from 4 different angles, may very well be why so many Americans find such wonderful pain relief. If you have back pain, shoulder, neck, hip, knee, or foot pain from exercise or even just getting older, you must order the 3-week Quick Start now. Discounted to only $19.95 to see if it will work for you too. I think it could. Give your body what it needs to heal itself. Go to ReliefFactor.com, call 800-500-8384, ReliefFactor.com.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. AM560 On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invite you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
Hi, this is Carl Amari.
I'm Lisa Wolf. Join us every Saturday night beginning at 8 p.m. for all things entertainment on Hollywood 360.
If you love classic radio shows, The Shadow, Jack Benny, The Lone Ranger, Dragnet, Gunsmoke, and many more, we have them for you on Hollywood 360.
We'll also present trivia contests with prizes, showbiz news, celebrity interviews, games, and movie reviews.
So don't miss Hollywood 360 every Saturday night beginning at 8 p.m. on AM560 The Answer.
We now return to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer. If you have a question or an opinion, share it with us at 312-642-5600. And now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
So I'm setting up a free sort of a transition program that if you live in the state of California and your last name is Benitez, we will set you up here in Illinois, and you won't have to worry about being persecuted. Judge Roger Benitez of the U.S. District Court of the Southern District of California, believe it or not, actually said the assault weapon ban in California is not good. This isn't California.
That's really shocking.
Yeah. So, and here's another shocker. California is going to appeal it.
No.
Now, he's a federal judge, so that's a life appointment, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, he was actually appointed under Obama. Wasn't he?
Obama appointed Benitez, really?
I believe so.
He must have been drinking that night. Because Benitez, this is not the first time that he's weighed in favor of Second Amendment issues. He did the magazine, if I remember, he did the magazine capacity.
Back in 2017.
Yeah.
So his new ruling, he wrote that California's ban violates the Second Amendment and characterized AR-15s as fairly ordinary, popular, modern rifles. Like the Swiss Army knife, the popular AR-15 rifle is a perfect combination of home defense weapon and homeland defense equipment.
Of course, liberals are skewering him for saying that.
Oh, they're losing their minds.
The Swiss.
I saw Pelosi was like losing her mind.
Yeah. Did she rip up his speech?
No, but she had her mask on and she was like, I could tell she was foaming at the mouth even though she had a mask on.
Here's just a thought about masks. Because, nobody in this building today, right now, we're in favor of masks. But here's the interesting insight with Pelosi. I prefer her wearing a mask.
I prefer her wearing a garbage bag. But
yeah, I was going to say mask, no mask. She's odious. No, either way.
Could it be a plastic garbage
no matter
bag?
what.
Well, I don't know.
It's like we were talking about the other day.
And tape it on? Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Well, you got to keep the coronavirus out.
Yeah.
Airtight.
So
paper bag is good too. That'll at least cover up the ugly.
The interesting thing about this is, so this is federal court, and they want to appeal it. Well, that means it's going to go to the United States Supreme Court. And I find it interesting because that same thing is happening here in Illinois with the Brown case. They want to appeal that, which is the FOID card thing.
Right.
And it's exactly what we want.
Right.
And it's as if they're going, every time I hear this stuff, I go, wait, did you switch sides?
The Democrats are facilitating us.
Right. The Democrats are running our agenda for us. I mean, okay, I'll contribute. What can I do?
Well, I don't know. I mean, do they somewhere, do they think they can win?
Well, they certainly wouldn't dare apply to appeal something they didn't think they could win, especially with these stakes, which is what I don't get. The stakes in the game are huge.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I don't understand it, but...
Well, I think it really just goes back to people hate losing.
That may be.
Especially politicians.
But liberals, you know what? We talk about how dumb they are. Liberals aren't dumb at all. They're obnoxious.
Some of them are dumb.
But, well, that's the rank and file.
Well, yeah, I mean,
But the people who are actually doing this stuff, they're not stupid by any stretch. They know what they're doing. But you just got to question sometimes, what are you thinking?
Well, yeah, I mean, think when you herd sheep, I mean, they kind of know how to stay in the herd, right?
Exactly.
It's pretty much the exact same thing,
right? Somebody's got to be.
I don't know.
Somebody's got to be herding them.
I mean, if you're looking at that from a human to animal standpoint, you're like, well, the sheep aren't stupid because they stay in the herd. Well, that's kind of what you're comparing here.
You know, you look at the Brown case here in Illinois. So they found in favor of Mrs. Brown. And if you're not familiar with it, basically what the deal is she had a .22 rifle in her home for personal protection. She had a very bitter divorce, and she was afraid of her ex-husband. So she had this .22 rifle in her home, but she didn't have a FOID card. And the police somehow found out. Imagine how that could happen.
Can't imagine.
I can't imagine what male would have called in and said that. So they arrest her, and it goes to court. And initially the case was with a public defender because the poor woman didn't have a lot of money, and it was poorly put together, and make a long story short, she won. So what that means is it's only her. And for those people who think that has any effect on anybody else, it does not. What she won is that she can have a gun in her home without a FOID card. Right. It has no implication for the rest of the state of Illinois. However, if you can put it up before the U.S. Supreme Court, so to be perfectly honest with you, and this will probably send people scurrying in every possible direction, screaming that I'm a commie, to a certain extent, it would have been better if she'd lost, because then we would appeal it and hopefully get it before today's Supreme Court. But she won, so that gives us no standing to go further. The state of Illinois wants to appeal it. You really mean the state of Illinois is willing to risk all the marbles over one little old lady with a .22 rifle? Because if it goes to the Supreme Court and they find, you change the law of the land.
Well, and sometimes I wonder, too, maybe the liberals like California, Illinois, they lose these gun cases. Sometimes I wonder if they don't just say, we're going to appeal to appease their base.
Well, and that may be true.
And then it just sort of magically evaporates and disappears and goes away.
Well, it could be that or to buy time, too.
Right.
So it could be...
You never know. Look at this recent thing that went on in Springfield. All these people are screaming, the ISRA sold us out. They have no clue how politics works. No clue at all. They do not understand how this thing works out. And sometimes it's infuriating, but it is what it is. You just live with it and you keep moving forward. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to talk about the FBI demanding your name. So all that and more when we return with On Target Radio. And you're listening to AM560, The Answer.
Did you miss the open enrollment this year? I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan all year long that eliminates the mandatory maternity coverage. This is Tom Marabali, and if you're 50 years old and are covered by the Affordable Care Act, you're paying for maternity coverage whether you want the coverage or not. The least expensive ACA PPO health insurance plan is $540 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $8,550 before your bills are paid at 100%. I can eliminate the mandatory maternity coverage and lower your monthly premium down to $273 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $2,500 before your bills are paid at 100%. That's a savings of $6,050 in total out-of-pocket cost per person with my lower deductible, and you save $267 per month with my lower premiums. For a free quote and to see if you qualify, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
People will call and they'll say, you need to get new actors. The ones you have are bad. Those are truly actually the calls that people make into their health coaches to get help. I don't sit and tell you it's going to cure the coronavirus. What it does do is that chemistry goes in and it helps your body do what it needs. The reason there's so many different types of successes is because we aren't targeting any one. All we do is help the body help itself, and whatever it finds and it can do and go in and work and fix, that's what it's going to go in and help do.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
Most drive to work, but a few drive to live. Whether you're dragging a peg on the Dragon's Tail or pushing 180 at the Monaco Grand Prix, there are two things you know. You're never letting anybody get out front, and Milwaukee Muscle will always have your back. High performance is in your blood, and now it's on your ride. Milwaukee Muscle's ceramic pre-soak quickly breaks down bug and road grime. The premium wash emulsifies dirt and grime while adding a layer of ceramic protection. Then top it with their ceramic, no buffing required premium wax for unparalleled surface protection. And nothing produces a higher gloss finish on your tires than Black Pearl Extreme Tire Shine. But the real pleasure is getting behind the wheel, and Milwaukee Muscle's interior detailer protects while making your ride look brand new. Milwaukee Muscle, the powerhouse in ceramic technology. Check out milwaukee-muscle.com. That's milwaukee-muscle.com. They've got your back so you can stay out front. That's milwaukee-muscle.com.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. To participate, call the studio at 312-642-5600.
I find this whole story is rather troubling. So the background of this is two FBI agents were serving a subpoena on someone that
warrant
they thought was involved in child pornography. Thought it. He had no record. There was nothing at all. He lived in an apartment. So these two FBI agents, Daniel Alphen and Laura Schwarzenberger, approached to serve. He has been watching them on his door camera, right?
Doorbell camera.
The doorbell camera,
right.
And just shoots him through the door. Kills her outright.
Yeah.
And then he hits the guy, the male agent, several times, who returns fire, and then he dies. I don't know. They didn't mention whether the bad guy got hit at all, but then the bad guy commits suicide.
It said the bad guy got hit and then he took his own life.
Is that what it was? And then he commits suicide.
Right.
What was the point of all this?
Well, don't know what the point was, but the problem with it is that for some reason the FBI is subpoenaing all of the records. So obviously after this happened, right, the news made a story.
By hours.
Right. So this happened at 6 a.m. in the morning. There was a raid. And then at 9:30, this news article was published, USA Today. And for some reason, 11 hours later, between 8:03 p.m., mind you, this article went live at 9:30 a.m., so 8:03 p.m. and 8:38 p.m., very, very specific time frame, they want all of the records of everybody that clicked on that article. So the subpoena says they want IP addresses, associated dates, times, time zones, user agent strings, which are basically the identifiers of which browser you're using. So if you're using like Firefox or Internet Explorer, communication ports, telephone numbers. They go as far as wanting the IMEI, which is your cell phone's basically serial number on the network, your SIM card number, and all of this other information just associated with this one specific URL for this very specific time frame. But USA Today is, or the company that owns USA Today is fighting that, saying that that's protected information under the First Amendment.
I think the thing that I find most disturbing about this,
the fact that they have all that information in the first place?
Yes. I don't think the average
Correct.
person understands how much information they give up without even knowing it.
Oh, yeah.
I would tend to believe they probably don't have all the SIM and IMEI information. They probably have an IP address. They might have a MAC address, but I don't think they have the rest of that information. So it's kind of odd.
Well, I don't know that they would ask for it. They didn't. But I'll tell you, several years ago when we were trying to figure out how big our audience was, remember?
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised to discover that we have a lot of listeners in the Middle East. And where was the other? Somewhere.
Wasn't it Asia, like Korea?
Was one of the Asian countries. I can't remember which one. We have a lot of
South
listeners
Korea.
there. I go, how do you even know that? Well, because you can look to see who's tapping in to the internet. Now I'm hoping
a lot of users using a VPN, probably.
I'm hoping the ones in the Middle East are GIs and not like terrorists, you know.
Right.
But anyway, so it's surprising how much information you get. I just keep going back to the guy several years ago who said he wanted to take concealed carry, but he didn't want the government to know he had a gun. And I said, do you own a gun? And he goes, yeah. And I go, they know.
They know.
Yeah. I don't think most people really realize this is something that corks your bottle every time we talk about it.
Oh yeah, so it puts, you're talking about like tracing IP addresses and stuff. It puts me in mind of a forensic files that I saw where this guy sent a map to the police department and said like there's a dead body buried like here, and he like marked it on this map. And so they figured out which website this map was printed out from, and then they contacted that website and they said, okay, we need to know everybody who accessed this map in this month, or it was a time frame. And they did. They figured out who the guy was based on his IP address.
Yeah, I mean, that's completely plausible.
Well, I remember literally being shocked. It's probably 5 or 6 years ago now, that with these digital cameras and your phone and stuff, when you take a picture, it takes you latitude and longitude.
Right.
Exactly. Now, if you take a picture
don't
of
tell you
something in
that.
your house to go sell it,
Yes.
The newer phones are getting better at warning you about including that information in your photos when you go and take them, when you first set up your phone. But if you ignore it or you just click yes or next or whatever,
Yeah.
then
Well, I
you're
mean,
giving a
seriously,
lot
and
away.
and this is not joking. I'm dead serious. Think of all the cheerleaders that put their picture up and stuff like that on the internet,
Yep.
and Miss America candidates and all kinds of vulnerable people who have no idea that to someone who's savvy, with the internet, she's telling them
They could be
where she
found.
goes to school.
Oh
They could
yeah,
be found.
I've seen. I think it was. I don't know if it was Dateline or just NBC in general, but they were talking about how like there was a local police department or a county sheriff's department, and they got onto some junior high girls, and they started asking them questions of like, oh, what, they're like, oh, well, I can't meet you because I have a soccer practice. And they're like, oh, what team are you on? Blah, blah, blah. They didn't ask them what town they lived in.
Didn't have to.
They just asked him enough information, and the police officers went there to the game. And, obviously the kids' parents were there, and they were like, we just want you to know that your child gave us enough information for us to be able to come here and find them. And, we're the good guys, but the bad guys can do it too.
Well, like I've said before, a lot of people have enough information on their vehicle for someone that wants to be able to find you to do it. They have their little family with the 2 kids and the dog and this and that, and the little kid's soccer number on the back, and the school they go to, and the village sticker, and where they bought their car. And I mean, it's not difficult to figure it out.
The project that developed the thing about have the latitude and longitude with your picture on thing, they call that the Biden project. I'm not quite sure why that was, but I seem to remember reading about that.
And to some extent, I blame the social media platforms for not scrubbing that information off of the photos, because they can certainly do that when they're uploaded.
All right, we're going to have to take a break again.
I do.
Okay, we got
good
that.
stuff.
So when we return with more On Target Radio, we're going to have Gretchen's Actions Items, all that and more when we return with On Target Radio, and you are listening to AM560, The Answer.
It's almost time for the annual AM560 golf outing. And this year, AM560 is proud to partner with our friends at the 100 Club of Illinois to help them provide resources, financial support, access to training, and moral support to both the families of first responders killed on the line of duty and active duty first responders throughout the state of Illinois. When you purchase a foursome to join AM560 on Monday, June 28th at the Mistwood Golf Club in Romeoville, you'll enjoy a full day of golf, which includes lunch and either breakfast or dinner. But you'll also receive an AM560 marketing marketing package, which includes 25 one-minute commercials to air on AM560 Monday through Friday between 5 a.m. and 10 p.m., along with a free digital marketing analysis. Book your tea time at 560theanswer.com/golf. That's 560theanswer.com/golf. Sponsored in part by PJN Tax Solutions, Here For You Home Care Services, BuyingRight.com, and by RickYale.com.
Hard drives fail. Viruses destroy data. Having a copy of your work, photographs, financial records, and other important files is one step in a thorough backup plan. Geekometrics offers a secure online solution by placing a copy of your data off-site where it's safe from theft, fire, and unauthorized access. Losing photos and financial information is devastating. Geekometrics' secure online backup solution is a reliable way to back up important files. The most common reasons for not backing up are uncertainty about what needs to be backed up and how to do it reliably. Geekometrics provides a full-service managed solution with no storage limit. Geekometrics does all of the setup, configuring, testing, and monitoring. Your data is even safe when you travel with your Mac or PC laptop. Call 630-759-9283 to talk to a specialist who can help you keep your data safe. 630-759-9283. Geekometrics, helping you keep your data safe.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. Stand by. Here's Gretchen with your action items for the week.
Okay, listen up, people. This is important. Join On Target Radio at the movies on Monday, June 21st at a 6:30 p.m. show at Hollywood Boulevard in Woodridge. My pick is Terminator 2. Seating is limited, so get your tickets in advance. Either follow the link I posted last week on our Facebook page, or for our friends who are not on Facebook, go to eventbrite.com and search for a private showing of Terminator 2 on Target Radio. Tickets are $8 on Eventbrite. Support Tom McCullough at his second annual Range Day, Saturday, June 26th at 5 p.m. at Buffalo Rock Shooting Park in Ottawa. Requested donation is $50 per person or $85 per couple. Sign up in advance on Eventbrite. 2 words, steal targets. Safer USA is now offering classes in Geneva, Waterman, and Bonfield. Wednesday, June 9th, Illinois Concealed Carry Renewal Class, taught by David. Saturday and Sunday, June 12th and 13th, Illinois Concealed Carry 1. This 16-hour class will be taught by David and meets the training requirements for Illinois Concealed Carry as well as Florida and Arizona. Saturday, June 19th, Long Range Rifle, taught by Ed Janka. To sign up for classes, go to saferusa.com and click on register.
It's been an interesting show.
Yeah, it's been a good show.
Yeah.
We covered a lot. Went from coast to coast.
Yeah.
We never know.
Yeah, I got to have my Big Bertha to field all those curveballs.
I mean, we just met some interesting people tonight. I mean, the Israeli couple at the restaurant, and we walk in, and Darren Bailey's here. And you want to be on the show? Okay.
His lovely wife, Cindy.
Yeah. So it has been interesting.
It's been an interesting day.
It has.
We're behaving interestingly.
Interestingly.
It's a quote from Roger on American Dad. So any American Dad fans out there.
Well, you know, when the Chinese say, "I hope you have an interesting life," what they're really saying is, "I hope you eat and die." I mean, they just want your life to be.
Yeah, that's a curse.
That sounds
it's a Chinese
exactly
curse.
right.
That sounds like bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Well, bless your heart.
The best explanation I've ever heard of that is if you're going into war, right? You want to have a dull day or do you want to have an interesting day? They're wishing you an interesting day.
Yeah, they're interesting. Yeah.
It's no good.
Yeah, I learned that a long time ago. But yeah, so it's been fun, and things are going the right way.
Hopefully we'll do it again next week.
Yeah, hopefully. We never know. I don't know why we plan shows, because they usually don't work out the way we plan them.
Well,
other stuff happens.
Because we're all control freaks, and we'd rather have a plan than lack of a plan.
Well, we're also free thinkers, so that ends up sometimes clouding it. But
it's better to have a plan and throw it out than to not have a plan and you wish you had one.
Right.
Yeah. One thing we need to do, we should get Shestokas back on the show. He's going to He's probably.
We only
been
have a
around
1 hour show.
That's
You had a
good.
4 hour lunch with him.
Oh, well, it was a good lunch. What can I say? It's interesting that a lot of people are lining up for the 2022 primaries.
Yeah.
A lot of people are. And more, I think, and maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like more now, earlier than in most of the previous elections that I can think of.
When you've got a really extreme, I'm trying to think of the right adjective, but when you've got a really crap Democrat in there, it creates an opportunity for Republicans.
Well, I just hope that the voter base is also as revved up as some of our candidates.
That's a
because
big question.
That could obviously go the wrong way.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of our voters have moved out of the state.
That is also true.
There's just no way around that.
So as we wrap the show, if you're like really famous, just hang outside the front door about 8:15, and you're on the radio.
Good things will happen.
There you go. Well, thanks for listening to On Target Radio. Thanks to our sponsors, Milwaukee Muscle and Geekometrics. Be sure to listen next week when we'll be covering more red meat issues that affect your life.
If you owe back taxes, there's a lot you need to know, starting with rule number 1. Don't mess with the IRS. They are cracking down this year by sending out heart-stopping letters, actively garnishing paychecks, levying bank accounts, and putting